So I was watching a Linus Tech Tips video and he casually mentioned that the 24-inch iMac was going to be a hit among college students and families. But that made me ask the question, what college student wants or has an iMac? Now, I just recently reviewed the M1 MacBook Air. This is an amazing college device for students, and I said so in my review. It's perfect, and it's actually really changed how I've been using computers at school. However, an iMac, something stationary and non-portable, and that definitely does not fit in a backpack, is another question. So in this video, we're going to talk about whether the new iMac M1 might be good for college students. And this video is presented by Squarespace for your website building needs. Let's go ahead and check it out. So first off, I think it's important to note that I don't know anybody with an iMac at school, at Boston College. Not that there aren't any, but I don't know any. Now, I certainly know some people with PC desktops or desktop PCs, and they use it for gaming. And I see those in my Zoom meetings a lot, people with multiple displays in their background and a tower to the side of it. Those are people that are really into gaming and they use that instead of a PlayStation or an Xbox, and that makes sense. But for an iMac, I only see those in the libraries and in the video editing stations on campus and stuff like that. I don't know anybody that has an iMac in their room. But the brighter, bolder colors paired with the white bezel makes me think that this is geared towards a younger audience, especially potentially students. So that paired with the new very fast M1 chip and the decent price tag at $12.99 with $50 off for a student discount. So if I were to use this as a college student, here are my impressions of what that experience would be like. So first off, the display on this machine would be incredible to have on your desk. It's not too small to where it's a laptop size, but it's not too big to where it takes up an entire desk setup. So I actually use a 30-inch Apple Cinema display here at school with my 15-inch MacBook Pro, but I'm definitely the exception there. I edit video constantly, so that's kind of my situation, and I only have some of this gear because of the YouTube work that I do. And this 30-inch display is awesome, but it's also really big and wouldn't be ideal for a desk, but it works well for more of a tabletop. So then rather than showing the 30-inch monitor, this is a 23-inch Apple Cinema display, which is going to be very similar to the overall footprint of the 24-inch iMac. And as you can tell, it actually looks pretty nice and fits nicely on the desk. It's good for getting work done without it dominating your entire workstation. So you can see almost exactly what your iMac might look like in terms of size. So 24 inches in a dorm room or some type of apartment or any type of desk in a room is going to be a good size to where you can get a lot of work done, but without being a huge device. And this is only a little bit bigger than the 21.5-inch iMac that this is replacing, but it has the bigger 24-inch display. And not just is it a nice size display for having multi-window support or maybe having research on one side and writing a document on another, or whatever you may be doing, but it's also an extremely high quality display. If you are into graphic design or Photoshop or video editing or color correction or anything like that, as a student you'd be able to get a lot of work done from this machine. And also, this could theoretically replace a small TV in your room. Now, I'm assuming that you'd have a bigger TV out in a common space or something like that, but even if you didn't, this would serve pretty well as a 24-inch, really high-resolution display if you're watching movies, Netflix, documentaries, YouTube, anything like that. This would definitely work well in a room to use as kind of a small TV, and I think it could replace a TV in a lot of different contexts. The computer is also very thin. It's 11 millimeters thick, which is not much at all. That's just like an iPhone and a half or like 2 iPads stacked together, and pretty light. It's under 10 pounds. Now again, 0.00% chance you're putting this in a backpack, but for moving it up and down stairs, for move in and move out and things like that, it's not going to be a pain in the neck like a bigger iMac might. So first was display, and second reason this is really cool is all of its kind of, I guess, periphery aspects. So it's got an amazing camera, speakers, and mic quality. All of these can be very useful for a student, especially during COVID. Now, hopefully for the fall semester, Zoom classes are a thing of the past. At least for me and at Boston College, I know that's the plan. Might not be everywhere. And Zoom will definitely be a part of the future. And this new iMac has the best camera that's ever been put into a Mac. It's 1080p, but it has a new M1 processor that's going to help with low light. It's just going to be better video all the way around. It's going to be great for video calls and FaceTime and anything like that. Granted, I don't think most people really care how they look on Zoom in terms of the video quality, but if you wanted to maybe even start a YouTube channel and record some stuff from your iMac, you're probably going to be able to do that pretty decently. You're not gonna have the blurred out background or anything like that, but it'll be 1080p quality with pretty good low light capabilities too, so you don't need much light to make it a decent shot. Secondly, Apple is promising amazing microphones. So this MacBook Air does not have Apple's studio grade microphones. My iPad does, the 16-inch MacBook Pro has it, the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro has it, and now the new iMac has it. These are microphones that are fantastic if you need to record audio in a pinch. Maybe you need a quick voiceover for a school project. Maybe you're even making a podcast. You wouldn't want to use the computer's microphone if you could get access to a dedicated microphone for your audio, but in the circumstances that you need a microphone and maybe you're just making an impromptu video, or you just don't really want to invest in a different microphone, this will actually provide really solid audio quality for your video and audio purposes. And then finally, the speakers on here are going to be amazing. Again, for a dorm room, you could definitely fill up a dorm room, maybe not a common space or like a party or something. That'd also be a little weird to just be playing off an iMac. But for certainly playing music within a dorm room or FaceTime calls or even answering your phone call on your iMac, the speakers are going to be fantastic, very loud and very high quality. So it's going to be able to replace not only a small TV, but a speaker within a room and within kind of a confined space, not a huge space, not outside, anything like that. But for those purposes, it's going to have a great camera, microphone, and speaker. Now the camera is also going to have this new technology from Apple Center Stage, where it can basically track your movement back and forth. It's a little creepy, but I think it'd be cool. It gives you a wide field of view so that as you move, it'll shift. So if you're on a FaceTime call and you're folding laundry, it's going to make sure it keeps you in shot. For the better or worse, I assume you can also turn this off. Now the third thing is just going to be values. Now for $1,300, that's obviously $300 more than the MacBook Air. And you also can get $100 off of the Air with a student discount, but only $50 off the baseline iMac with a student discount from Apple. So it's definitely more expensive, but with it you get a $100 keyboard included, a $100 mouse included. Granted, I hate the Magic Mouse. It's not a great mouse. Some people like it though. You could always sell it, or you can upgrade the Magic Mouse to the Magic Trackpad for an extra $50, which is about on par for the upgrade that it would cost on Amazon. So you do get those included. You also get a braided lightning cable in the color that you choose the iMac with. So that's gonna be kind of cool. Again, not worth like paying that much more, but a cool accessory. And hey, I'll probably give you colorful stickers as well that match your iMac, so you can put that on the back of another Apple device or your water bottle or whatever. So for the amazing display that this has, plus the really good keyboard that it includes, plus the really good mouse that it includes, plus, well, I'm not even going to say the braided lightning cable, but all those things combined do make this a pretty decent value for the fourth and final reason this is going to be great. It's really fast. Now, it's not going to be any faster than the MacBook Air, so again, not really worth it if you're looking for extra performance with a desktop computer, which I think a lot of people are looking for. But for the purposes of browsing the web, writing documents, even editing some video, which I've done plenty of on the MacBook Air, some light Photoshop work, a lot of video watching, stuff like that, this will work flawlessly, very quick, very efficient, very fast. You shouldn't have too many hiccups at all in terms of performance. It should be really fast. This won't be great if you're looking for high intensity video editing, which I don't think many college students are going to be doing. That's kind of rare. So similar performance to the cheaper MacBook Air, so don't be looking for better performance out of this bigger machine, which you typically would, but the 21.5-inch iMac wasn't super powerful, so this is actually a really nice upgrade. But with all of those things in mind, here are all the reasons why I think ultimately the 24-inch iMac or any iMac is not great for students. First, I find that I'm just more easily distracted when I have a really nice setup with a desktop computer. So with my setup here, I'm often finding that just having a mouse and a keyboard that I love and a big display, it's so easy just to get sidetracked. And once I'm done with my work, just kind of browse the web, stuff like that. I find I'm a little bit less productive after I finish my work, a little bit more easily distracted. That might be just a personal anecdote, might not carry over. Secondly, it obviously presupposes another device that you're using for taking around campus. So whether it means typing notes in class or just using handwritten notes, or maybe you have an iPad, or you can always just scan documents with your iPhone and then import it into your Mac later. But regardless, if you want any type of technology around campus, you're going to need an iPad or a Mac, or just use your school's computer if you want to work on anything away from your dorm, which is an obvious big limitation as a student. And then finally, for the base price of this new iMac, it has the same input and output, just two USB-C Thunderbolt ports as the MacBook Air. So you're getting the same input and output, even though it's a desktop. So there's no HDMI, there's no SD card, you're going to need a dongle. And if you want 4 USB ports, you're going to have to go up to $100, which comes with some other perks as well. But that is that. And then, like I said before, the performance is the same as this much cheaper MacBook Air, even slightly less. The CPU is 7 cores instead of 8 cores. So at the end of the day, I think this is an awesome machine. I think the beautiful display, great speakers, and great camera could make this a really great option for having it in a dorm room if you do like the colors and you think you would take advantage of the bigger display. But I think for most people, it's just going to make more sense to get something like the MacBook Air and then plug it into a desktop if you want a little bit bigger experience in your dorm room. Thank you for watching, and make sure to check out Squarespace if you are a student who's looking to start a blog, a website, to sell stuff, to advertise, anything like that. Squarespace can help you with all of your goals for anything online, and it's great. And you can go to squarespace.com/harriscraycraft to get a free trial as well as 10% off if you want to commit to it. And you can choose your favorite template. You can add a store, a blog, an email list, manage clients. There's just so many options. Check out Squarespace with the link in the description.